This government continues to ignore critical health care infrastructure priorities. Alberta Health Services has identified an obstetrical department redevelopment as an immediate need in Red Deer in its 2011 capital submission. This project is required in order to meet existing demand due to higher than expected birth rates and significant population growth. The provision of a dedicated C-section operating rooms would relieve pressure on the main surgical unit. To the Minister of Infrastructure, what is this government waiting for?
Again.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I've explained in this House quite a few times that we work with the colleagues from Health and other departments, and we build the priorities that they bring forward to us. Mr. Speaker, we have a very aggressive build in capital projects going forward. We got $5.2 billion this year, Mr. Speaker. We got $15 billion over the next 3 years, Mr. Speaker. But every day in this House, the opposition brings forward their pet projects. Apparently, they don't think $5.2 billion is enough money to be spending. So I think they want us to spend more. Mr. Speaker, I think they want us to spend more. In order to do that, we got to borrow.
Honourable Member.
Given that Alberta Health Services considers this an immediate need because, quote, there is no access to an operating room for emergency C-section, which presents a high patient safety risk. Will the Minister of Health explain to residents of Red Deer and area why this government is delaying this project and putting mothers and newborns at risk?
Well, Mr. Speaker, my colleague, the Honourable Minister of Infrastructure, makes a good point. And of that $5.2 billion, Mr. Speaker, in the provincial capital plan, $2.1 billion is allocated for health. I'd further agree with him that it's an open question as to what the opposition thinks, Mr. Speaker, is an appropriate amount. What I can tell the honourable member is that this is one of several high-priority projects for Alberta Health Services. Mr. Speaker, we have worked with AHS consistently to try to approach these projects in order of priority need. Mr. Speaker, it's interesting when the honourable member doesn't agree that his constituency's project is the top priority, we get these sorts of questions.
It's about priorities again, Mr. Speaker. Given that the government failed to acknowledge the immediate need for this project, and given that we've only become aware of this pressing need through yet another FOIP request, will the Minister of Infrastructure finally commit to releasing the government's list of infrastructure projects by priority so Albertans will know when they are getting their projects and once and for all will be open and transparent and stop being so secretive and political?
Oh, Mr. Speaker, I don't know how many times I have to say it in the House. Our priority list is our projects that are approved on the website. There's $5.2 billion approved this year. That list is on the website, and obviously that's not enough. So they want us to borrow more and build more. Stand up and say that, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Calgary.